Hello, welcome to the Tutors of Life podcast, where we research life so you don't have to. Episode 505. This is your host, Shaun Tutor.
And this is Sam. And this is a talk episode where the tutors talk.
Why is this so loud?
Why is your microphone so loud?
Yeah, I have it way down.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
Let me check this stuff. Oh, because it's not on the same spot as it normally is.
Oh, that makes sense.
There we go.
Is that better? For sure? Oh my gosh. Say yours. Talking to yours?
Hello?
Is that good for you?
Yeah, I think that's good for me.
Okay, cool. What's up?
It's another day. Dun, dun, dun,
Another
dun.
day in paradise.
Yes. What was the saying that you used to always say? Living the dream.
Living the dream.
Oh my gosh. Back in the group home days, one of the case managers, he would be like, "How's it going today?" And he's like, "Living the dream." And so after that, Shaun started saying it all the time.
Living the dream.
He was such a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
I liked him so much.
Very cool dude. Yeah.
We had Wisco Reel last night
We did.
with Jason Lund as our speaker,
The man himself. The man, the myth,
the legend.
the legend. Jason Lund.
Yeah. What was your one big takeaway?
You know what it was? I think what it was don't get too fancy. You know, just look at like the low hanging fruit. Like what are just like sit back and think and be like, where could I get like one more deal from?
Yes.
You know what I mean? You know, it's like super simple down to that point. Like the one thing he brought up that I was like, holy man, is he's like, he brought up a couple of these examples, but one of them that I was like, holy shit. He's like, how many of you guys have talked to the police department about their troubled properties? And it just made me chuckle because multiple times a week I hang out with cops at jiu-jitsu. And I was like, how the fuck is my dumbass never asked them, hey guys, tell me, what's your 5 biggest issue houses? I'll market them. I'll try to get them and clean them up.
100%, dude.
You know, because what's funny is one of the guys mentioned to me about how, or like, he takes people on ride-alongs. Like kids and shit. And he said they'll drive by and he knows like where to drive to point out like certain crackheads, and it's the same ones.
Do a ride along, dog.
No, I need to. But he's just like, he'll take a kid for a ride along and be like, hey, this is what drugs do to you. This is why it's so important not to do drugs. And so, you know, they have a list of places that they get called to and they immediately know.
Oh, 100%, dude. Well, that's like the one property we bought. Like, Brooke is friends with one of the neighbors.
Right.
And she was just like, oh, thank you for buying that house. Like, I guess they were just a huge problem of the neighborhood. And they continue to be a huge problem because they keep coming back to the house. But like, so we're just like, okay, like obviously one person's thankful. It probably means a lot of people are very thankful around to have those people be gone now.
Right. 100%.
So yeah, I mean, because I understand they have to go somewhere, but there's so many nice neighborhoods that one house can just ruin. And once you have
100%.
Once you have one in there, then another comes, and then another, and it's just like, grow up, like, get a life, get a job, be a reasonable human being, like, stop being a fucking drug addict. Like I said in the last one.
Sam, hold on. You got to give these people some grace.
No grace.
I mean, I understand people. You know what's interesting? I listened to a podcast, or maybe it was a video, whatever. They talked about the homeless situation. And they talked how instead of getting people housing when they became clean, they started getting people housing to help them get clean. And it was actually a way higher success rate because they weren't in the streets with people reusing. They were like in their own home
Using?
well, yeah, I'm sure some of them kept using, but like they said, it was a lot higher success rate to get people off. I thought it was interesting.
Well, that's what like my mom said back in the 90s in Eau Claire. There used to be someone that like, I don't know if it was just, it had to be a handful of people, that their duty was to handle the finances for homeless.
Sure.
Because so many of the homeless people are homeless because they don't want to deal with that responsibility. Because like a lot of people with mental illness, like it stresses them out, you know, whatever. So there was someone that worked for the local government that would handle their finances. So like they would make sure their rent would get paid. They would give them like a weekly allowance, make sure all their utilities are paid, all that stuff. So the person could just go and live. And like, it was very successful. My mom said there was so few homeless people back then. And like, it was just so successful. And then they cut the program. They cut that department.
It's probably because it didn't make enough money.
And she's just like, okay, well, now we have, like, it just slowly trickled more and more homeless. And it's just, and I think it's so true because we heard from a friend of a friend who is in Arizona, and he helps here. He gets apartments ready for homeless people, moves a homeless person into it. And he said a majority of the time, like 2-3 months in, they'll just be like, no, I'm out. Like, I don't want the responsibility of this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to go back to the streets.
Yeah.
And so he's just like, feels so defeated every time because he's just like, I put in so much work to find you like cheap furniture, set up this place for you. And then you're just like, I don't want responsibility.
Yeah. And we've, you know, I remember back in the day, we took a kid into the group home. He was older than me, kid. Anyways, we're like, hey, why are you homeless? And he's like, oh, I like being homeless. And we're like, that's a problem. And he's like, yeah, I mean, he's like, we'll give it a try, but I'm gonna self-sabotage and be back on the streets because that's where I like to live. And we're like, how long have you been living in the streets? 8 years. And I was like, oh no. And sure enough, a few months in, freaks out, pulls a knife, does all this, whatever, all because he wanted back out in the street. He couldn't handle the structure, couldn't handle being in a house. He just needed to live in the streets.
That's wild.
Yeah. Very interesting guy.
Mm-hmm. I understand not wanting responsibility, but also like,
well, that's just severe mental illness.
Right, yeah.
You know, that's all that is. And you know, I don't know. Whatever happened to fucking psych wards, dude? Whatever happened to, you know,
they were inhumane.
Well,
I mean,
at least you had a place for all the fucking homeless to go.
Yeah, I mean, they were diagnosing because like Ian would have been in a psych ward just because he's in a wheelchair.
Right.
Back in the day.
Right. Well, maybe they need to loosen the things just a little bit.
But I mean, I think now more than ever we actually need them.
I think we need them big time. Mm-hmm. There's way too much mental illness.
Yeah. I mean, it's way more than it used to be.
Oh, yeah. It speaks to all the shit. The environment.
Yeah.
All the food. All the drugs.
I wonder how much more mental illness there is in the United States versus other countries.
Interesting.
Because, like, we put so much more shit into our food and water versus other places.
And we do so much more medicine.
Dude, want to hear something crazy?
Sure.
There's a huge protest and like fires in Belfast, Ireland right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because a migrant who was in Ireland on legal sanctuary, whatever, stabbed a 40-year-old local in the, like, all over his head.
Jesus.
Tried beheading him.
My God.
Yep.
Dead, I imagine.
No, he's in critical condition in the hospital. So who knows if he'll make it?
If he broke through and got in the brain, that's not good.
Right. So a graphic video of the incident showing a man slashing another man in the head, neck with a knife.
Jesus.
So it spread quickly online.
Shocker.
The police detained and charged a Sudanese man in his 30s with attempted murder, possession of a knife in a public place, and making threats to kill. The accused man entered Northern Ireland, a semi-autonomous region of the United Kingdom, after applying for asylum in 2023. He was granted a 5-year UK visa. He's scheduled to appear in court on Wednesday to face the charges. But I think somewhere it said in the other article that they were going to allow him to still be there, and through his visa through 2028. But that was, I guess, the court hasn't, his hearing hasn't happened, so who knows. But the people of Ireland are so upset about the immigrants and stuff that they are like protesting, like setting places on fire and protesting. Local Irish are setting places on fire because they're so fed up with all the immigrants.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be crazy if the U.S. did something like that. Mm-hmm. How many people are dying fucking daily, probably getting killed daily, you know?
Yeah.
And nothing happens. And so, you know, soft on crime policies, allowing people to be immigrants when they shouldn't be. You know, it's one thing, we've talked about it. Legal immigration, it's one thing. Mm-hmm. You know, actually, I listened to a podcast a while ago with the Border Patrol, and they talked about how, like, they had their regulars who crossed the border during the summer to work the farms and construction. Then they went back across the border and went back home for the winter. Mm-hmm. And they knew guys that did that for over 20 years. Just nice guys and whatever, right? You know, is it wrong? Sure, it's wrong. They cause any issues? No. But now we're talking about a situation where these people are causing issues. You know, what's the most recent one that we saw? The Somalians that stabbed a kid to death or whatever. Shot him.
They shot him. They executed him in the back of the head.
Yeah. So, okay, it was four Somalians executed a kid leaving work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they made him... they ambushed him while he was leaving work, made him get into his car, and while he was driving, they executed him.
Yeah. So it's like...
A 17-year-old boy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, you know, maybe you got to get rid of those people. Mm-hmm. And
one of them was already charged with attempted murder. And he was just free on the streets, let loose.
Yeah. So, I mean, what it's going to take, you know, you look at that, it's really going to take a complete culture change for anything to happen. There's got to be, you know, so many people are going to die. A lot of people are going to die, be tortured, whatever it may be, before there's an uprising, a revolt, just like there's right now in Ireland.
Right. So between 7 p.m. and midnight, there were 62 incidents. So I guess they were just lighting neighborhoods with large immigrant populations, just setting them afire.
Well, yeah, I mean, here's the deal.
I mean, it's going to be the Irish versus these immigrants very soon.
Right. So let's put it this way. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Okay. There is such a thing as statistics. So if statistically immigrants are causing a lot of the crime and the violent crime, well, maybe you got to look at getting rid of that immigration populace. And if you decide not to, you know, it's up to the government, essentially. You know, the government is supposed to protect the people and live by the Constitution. Mm-hmm. If they decide not to, okay, well, let's say there's 1 million people in government and you got 315 million that don't, you know, 315 million people that don't, or whatever it may be, right? And they decide that they're done with it. Well, that's what you get with the Ireland situation. You get the same thing here in the U.S. If the population decides they're over it, and you're talking they outnumber the immigration populace by 1,000 to 1, who's going to win that fight? And it'd probably be in the best interest of the government to handle it. I talk about this all the time. It'd be in the best interest of the government to handle these things before the people do. Because the people are going to be a whole lot more violent than the government would be. But you know, if we don't, you're just leading to a vigilante style running of things. And that's what it's going to come to, you know.
Yeah.
There was actually one thing, I was listening to a podcast, I can't remember who, but they brought up how a gangster in California, like an old school gangster in California, came out and was like, yep, I'm leaving because it is too dangerous here. Like a crime, like a mob boss. A mob boss is like, with all the immigration here, I'm leaving. I'm taking my family because it's too dangerous. A mob boss.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like with the immigration stuff. He's like, it's too dangerous here. And when you have a career criminal going, it is too dangerous, maybe you really need to start evaluating what you're letting the country go to, the city and the country, or the state, cities and country. So that's cool though. I'm happy to see Ireland standing up and doing some shit, because there needs to be these things need to happen. People need to see that this is happening, and I don't know how. You know what it comes down to is there has to be such a high tipping point, because the people in control of the world have done such a good job of getting liberals versus conservatives, right? They've done a very, very good job. And this is all planned. This is all, we've talked about this. This is all part of the plan. Get people against each other, and then we won't worry about getting rid of the people that run the world. You know, if neighbors are fighting each other, then we're not banding together in getting rid of the people at the top who are controlling things. It's like, you know, I listen to a lot of people talk about it, and I noticed it. Dude, when I was younger, like, there wasn't racism. Like, in elementary school and middle school, there wasn't racism.
No.
You know, and then Obama gets into office, and Frisella on Real AF talks about this all the time. Obama got into office in 2008, and that is right away around when I was getting into finishing up middle school and looking at getting into high school. And I think I was 8th grade. But that's literally when, like, racism started kicking off. That I remember, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I remember around that time, racism starting to be a hot topic. And Andy talks about it all the time. About, like, dude, Obama got in office and it divided the country. Oh, yeah. It wasn't about inclusion. Everyone thought that a black president is going to make the country inclusive. No. He divided the country.
And I think it's because we started talking about it then. Once you brought light to it, then it was just like, now everything is racist.
I remember, just like, no. Bro, I remember years ago, Ed Milet had, and we've talked about this on here, years ago we talked about this on here. Ed Milet had Martin Luther King Jr.'s grandson on. And Ed is probably the least racist human on earth. And he was talking to him about, hey, don't you think to make racism go away, we just need to all quit talking about race and identifying as race and asking for what's the reparations and stuff. And this is how bad, and Martin Luther King Jr. used to say, you know, we should judge a person by the content of character, not the color of their skin. And literally his grandson's like, no, we have to first judge people by their skin color, and so that we can like identify that there is a problem and give those people the right recognition that they have been judged, or that, you know, that they have been what's the word I'm looking for, Sam? Like, they have been mistreated or
Oh, yeah. Anyways.
okay. So
systemic yeah.
whatever.
Anyways.
So anyways, you first have to judge by the skin so that you can be like, oh yeah, you have been treated poorly, and because of you been treated poorly, I should now get treated poorly so that you can be on like the same, so we can be on the same playing field or whatever, and then we should give you reparations. And it was just bonkers. It was crazy what he was saying. It was the opposite of what his grandfather said. And Ed was like, well, don't you think that the best way to get rid of racism is to quit judging people by their race?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, there's only one fucking answer.
And that's it.
And there's only one right answer, and it's yes.
Because as soon as you give privilege to another race, it's racism.
Exactly.
And it's like, that's what's so interesting.
And the dude disagreed with him. He's like, no, that's not the case. And I like literally it was like cringy listening, because I'm like, you're making somebody who is not racist dislike you because of your ideology.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just like all they wanted back then was to be included.
That's it.
They just want to have the same privileges as white people. That's
No.
all they wanted.
Yep.
And it's like, no, now they think they should get extra privileges because they're a different color.
Exactly.
And that's why I thought, like, I remember thinking this back in college. So probably, let's see, when did I meet Natalia? Probably 2012, 2013. She told me she got a scholarship just because of her skin color.
Huh.
And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah. She's like, there's like a whole bunch of scholarships you can apply for at UW Eau Claire for different things. And she's like, because I'm a different skin color, I can get one.
Well,
and I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, she did nothing. All she had to do was fill out this small application and put her race on there, and she got it.
No, yeah. Do you know the Madison? You knew the Madison program, right? Did you hear the program in Madison? UW Madison?
No.
If you were any color but white, okay? If you're any color but white, and you do, it was something like, it was like a 6 to 8 week summer camp, and you did that your freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year, you got like a free tuition. Mm-hmm. But you could, but it was only for any color but white.
Because didn't your
native,
Yeah.
family, friends, whatever, natives would go down there and get it. And I was like, well, because I remember being like, hey, can I do this? And they're like, no, you can't because you're white. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, well, this is bullshit. Mm-hmm. So,
and I think it's crazy too that people truly believe that like we need to make things more fair. And you're just like, well, if you're a different skin color than me, but we have the exact same qualifications, why should you get it over me just because you have a different skin color? Or if you have less qualifications than me, you should still get that job because we need diversity in this workplace. I'm so happy that DEI is not a thing anymore. I
think DEI is still a thing. It's just not as much.
No, I think it just allowed people to not have to work as hard.
Oh, yeah, bro. I remember we were in this mastermind group.
Oh my God. This was ridiculous.
We're in a mastermind group, and I actually fucking snapped because, believe it or not, I'm not a racist. We're in this fucking group, dude, in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. So, I don't know. The black population is probably...
Oh, we looked it up. I think white is 90% of Eau Claire.
Oh, right. So, like, I mean, I'm sorry. I didn't look when I was 18 years old and going to college and serving in the military. I didn't look, hey, what is the diversity percentage of Eau Claire? So I'm sorry that we live in a predominantly white area.
Here you go. 82 to 85% are white.
Okay.
Asian is about 5 to 6.
Makes sense.
Hispanic is 3.
Yep.
Black or African American is 2%.
There you go. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in this mastermind group, and there was probably 25 of us.
Yeah.
And one of the girls, and so it was open invitation. The person that ran it made posts and stuff, and it was for like entrepreneurs or people,
like striving to grow,
right? Well, one of the girls, we're like talking about how to make the group better and what we should do to like bring in people and whatever. And they were like, well, I really think we need black people in this group. And we should get some black people in here.
I laughed out loud. I legitimately laughed out loud.
Dude, my response was, are you that fucking racist? And it was a liberal. I said, are you that fucking racist?
Yeah, we were just like, we live in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Like, what do you expect?
Well, and that's exactly what, I was just like, hey, so what like we had say 25 people, for every 25 people, we could have a half a black person.
Yeah.
Like based on like stats.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
A quarter.
2%.
Yeah,
so
half.
A half a black person. And so I was just like, I was pissed, dude. I was fucking pissed. I was like, hey, black people are welcome. But I'm not going to just go grab a black person off the street and be like, hey, be in our group so that we look inclusive.
100%.
No. You can see the posts just like we do. It just so happens that they're 2% of the population.
Yeah, 1,400 people in Eau Claire, by the way.
Bro, thank you. Dude, that shit.
So it's like we don't happen to, like, if the 1,400 don't happen to see the post, what are we supposed to do?
And that's just it, right? Like, and maybe of the 1,400, when you think of like people striving to do more, the population isn't very high.
No.
So maybe it's 5%, maybe it's 10%.
Yeah.
Anyways, the whole point of what I'm getting out of this like whole talk is they've done such a good job of pitting us against each other.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of being inclusive and like not judging people by the color of their skin, like Martin Luther King Jr. talked about, now we judge like they encourage judgment by skin color.
Yeah.
It is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So now we have these immigrants, and these immigrants are judging by color of the skin and by religion or culture, and they're just killing people
Because of their skin color.
because of their skin color.
But that's not racism because they're black.
It's the craziest shit I've ever heard of. It's the craziest shit I've ever heard of.
So, this is how crazy it is. So, the 17-year-old that got shot in the back of the head, that happened May 23rd.
May 23rd, and it was blacks killing white.
And I didn't see an article about it until yesterday.
Well, how come
2.5 weeks. It took 2.5 weeks for someone to find the report on that.
How come I just found how come just 2 days ago we see about the black kid that stabbed the white football player just got charged?
Well, because
that one happened a long time ago,
yeah,
right?
yeah. The case just finally ended. That's why that one is.
Well, guess what? That's racism.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, maybe I guess that exact case wasn't, but like, we really need to look at this thing and look at the culture and understand that, like, hey, promoting racism isn't a good thing.
No.
And a lot of people are promoting racism, especially on the liberal side.
Yeah.
They may say like, oh, we're inclusive, we're pro this. They're the same motherfuckers that say, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Mm-hmm. They're the same people that say, if we deport the Mexicans, who's going to mow our lawns?
Yeah, who's going to work for us?
Yeah. It's like, dude, you racist sons of bitches. So anyways, the whole point is, we really... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. You got to see a person for a person. Like, it doesn't matter what they look like, anything. Like, all that matters is their qualifications, what type of person they are, their moral standards. Like, that's all that matters.
That matters, but you know what? The one of the issues is when you just look at statistics. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be more alert and on edge if I'm in a group of Somalians.
Oh yeah. Obviously, I'm not saying that. I'm saying like, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, and you know what? The government's made it this way.
Yeah, unless you're in Franklin, Tennessee.
Yeah, but they don't have a Somalian population there.
No, but I was just saying, we were there and we're just like,
I'm gonna tell you,
these ones act so normal.
dude. Literally, okay. Everyone knows the stats. What causes 85%? What is 13% and causes 85% of crime? The black population.
Oh yeah.
You know, and you know,
and we're not like, obviously we're not saying like whites don't do it, because they do.
It's just stats. 13% of the population causes 85% of the crime. It's just stats. Okay. We're in Franklin, Georgia.
Franklin, Tennessee.
Thank you. Franklin, Tennessee. And
it's a rich town.
Rich town. I was blown away. Sam and I were blown away by this. We met multiple black individuals down there. All of them talked without slurs. Mm-hmm. All of them dressed professional. All of them were very kind and courteous. None of them were using slang.
And honestly, like, this is how crazy it is. This is like how it should be. We didn't even notice that they were black.
We didn't know.
Like, we were just going about our time, like, having a good time, whatever. And then I was like sitting there and I was looking and I was just like, wait. I was like, we're almost the minority here. And I was like, I didn't even notice them.
Didn't even know. Didn't even know. But here's the thing.
That's how it should be.
They weren't
stereotypical.
Think that's the word I was looking for. They weren't the stereotypes. They were normal. They acted like
Humans.
Everyone else. They acted like human. They didn't act like rappers, act like gangsters or whatever.
Their boxers weren't hanging out of their pants.
They were just normal people
going about their day.
Yeah. And dude, this is what I'll say, and I brought this up before. In elementary school, middle school, or early middle school, before like 6th-ish grade, I had a few black friends, mostly because there was only a few black kids in our school. But when they hit the 7th grade, when they hit the 7th and 8th grade, and they started listening to rap, they went from normal kids, just like the rest of us there, just like everyone else in their environment, right? To gangsters, sagging their pants, acting ghetto, slurring their words, bringing up race all the time. And I'm just like, I knew early on, I was like, oh my God, this is all environment. This is all nurture. Mm-hmm. This isn't nature. They were normal. Mm-hmm. They were just like everybody else here in fucking white Ashland.
Well, I had a friend of mine. They're very interesting. So it was her.
Yeah, I remember that.
Her and her sister. Her sister was white as a ghost. She was light brown.
Mocha.
Yeah. Her
caramel.
Sure.
Caramel.
Her mom even admitted, she's like, we are a very white black family.
Right.
Like, her dad was so white and nerdy. He was adorable. And her mom was the nicest woman on the planet. She still sees my mom every once in a while and says hi and talk ass about me.
That's cool.
Yeah. And so, whatever, the family grew up in Altoona, Wisconsin. White USA.
Yeah.
And, like, she was, like, excelled academically, excelled sports-wise. Like, she was just a great person overall. After high school, she moved to the cities. Mm-hmm. Shortly after, I saw her posting on Facebook about racism, and then all of a sudden she was, like, making rap music and, like, was dressing like a thought. And I was just like, you grew up in Whitesville.
Yeah.
But because she moved to the cities and found a black crowd, all of a sudden she's a gangster.
Yep.
And I was like, what in the world?
Talking ghetto,
yes. Yeah. I was just like, that is insane. Like, she never experienced racism in
right,
Altoona.
Exactly.
Like, nobody cared.
Right.
Like, it was just incredible to me. Like, so it was actually funny. There was no black people. Nope, there was one black guy in my grade. Mm-hmm. There was 3 black girls in the grade below me, which is pretty incredible since our grades are like 100 kids. None of those three.
It's not incredible. That literally lines exactly with the stats.
That does, yeah. None of them ever had experienced racism,
right?
Throughout schooling, nobody cared.
No, right. Well, and the thing is, dude, when you grow up with these people, there's never any racism because why would there be? You grew up with them. You had no idea.
Oh, one of the other girls in the same grade, one of the other black girls, she's still white, normal, got married, has a kid now, living a good life.
Yep. Shocker.
Yeah.
She didn't fucking
fall into that trap.
The stereotypical, norms of what they figure normal to be.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, going back, I'm happy to see Ireland doing that. I believe there's only a matter of time before the U.S. starts doing that. Good for them. I hope it actually helps solve the issue, and I hope that
other countries start going on. Sorry.
Yeah, I hope that I hope that the population is able to sway the government. Yeah. At the end of the day, I mean, that's what it's supposed to be. That's what that's what the republic is supposed to be. And so many people talk about the democracy. Well, the democracy is just people you put in charge to represent you. Where the republic, you actually have to listen to your citizens. Listening to the citizens, guys, it's what people don't understand. A republic is so powerful and important because you have to listen to your citizens. Your citizens vote. A democracy, you just put people in charge and they act on your behalf without your say. That's a fucking problem. And we are living in a democracy, and it's a very bad one. Yeah. We need to live in a republic.
Yeah.
That's why we were built as a republic and not a democracy. And people who talk about... Anyways... People need to educate themselves, and I really hope that people can start swaying their governments and for the better. Swaying the governments for the better.
You listen to Caleb Hammer on Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
I think he proves a really good point about how kids coming out of college these days don't actually understand what communism is.
They don't. They don't have a single clue what communism is.
So they all because there's a huge push for socialism and communism.
Yep.
In the younger crowd, especially kids coming out of college. And they he made a good point about how they don't actually understand what communism is. They think socialism is communism.
Right, exactly. Well, and I read a book. I read a book a couple years ago now, and I am conservative and believe in the republic. That book had me voting for the communists. The book I read had me voting for communists.
Oh, really?
And I was like, holy fuck, if I didn't know what I knew, if I didn't know what I knew, I would be a communist after reading this book.
Dude,
that's fucked.
Have you ever learned about Cuba?
No.
I'm reading a book about it's a fiction book, but it's about this family from Cuba, and they were forced to move to Miami. So there was a dictator named Batista, and he got overthrown in 1959.
Okay.
But he also he overthrew the government in 1952 to get into power.
Okay.
So because he was losing the election, so before the election could happen, he overthrew the government, took over, and then didn't allow there to be an election.
Love it.
So he was a dictator for 7 years.
That's awesome.
Then he got overthrown by Fidel Castro.
Okay.
And Fidel Castro was how everyone else was sick of how the regime was and wanted a better living standard for everyone. Well, he was a communist.
Oof.
So they've been under communism for 67 years.
Oof. Mm-hmm. That's fucking rough, dude. And you want to know what? At the time, that seemed like a good move. Mm-hmm. At the time, Fidel Castro seemed like the savior. The savior. Mm-hmm. Fuck, that's tough.
Yeah, he passed away in 2013, 2016.
Is it still under communist?
From what
regime?
I just looked up, I believe so.
Well, but here's the other issue, right? Schools are just indoctrination centers, and they're not teaching kids the real thing. If schools legit taught real stats of communism based upon like a democracy, based upon republic, based upon socialism, you know what I mean? If they actually taught all the categories and shown history, hey, these countries operate in communism. This is how many people died over communism over this amount of years. This is why. This is the standard of living. People wouldn't be coming out of school going, "Yay, communism." They'd be coming out of school going, it is imperative we stay a republic." If you could go ahead, right now people think they have a say, and they're taught they have a say when they don't. It should be on our educators, and it should be on our parents. You know what? No. It should be on the parents. The issue is the parents let the public school system come in. They let all that happen. The parents let the kids get out of the house. They bought into the two income household, etc. You don't have to agree with me. That's fine. But you should probably do some research to see that that is the case, and that is what happened. It's just facts. It happened. And because all those things happened, now we don't have control of what our kids are learning. And we also didn't learn the shit ourselves. So we don't even know that there's a gap that we're missing.
Right.
So now you're getting a bunch of kids that are being taught that communism is the way or socialism is the way, but they don't actually know what those things mean. And they don't know the repercussions of running countries that way. And so we're gonna be in a situation, I believe, sooner than later, where it is a communist one world regime, and it ain't gonna bode well for all these people that thought that it was the route, because it ain't the route. Capitalism, republic, or monarchy.
Honestly, yeah.
You know?
Well, it's just like, it's kind of what we're falling into right now is like, Trump promised all these things for when he became president again and hasn't done any of them.
Has not done a lot of them. He hasn't done a lot of the important ones.
Right. So, and that's what people are believing. Like they're believing in these promises that people say, and then they don't happen. Communism's a lot worse than us voting the wrong president or like a president.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's like what happened in North Korea. North Korea was struggling, and the Communist Party promised them if they sell their land and houses to the government will redistribute it evenly.
And they didn't.
And they just never did.
Yep.
So that's what could happen. And yeah. So, so Fidel Castro died in 2016. His brother took over until 2018, and now it's another communist.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, it's under communist rule, so until someone overthrows it, it'll just always be communist.
Rough.
Yeah, so the book I'm reading, it's about a grandma and a granddaughter, and it goes back in time from when the grandma was a kid to the granddaughter. And the grandma had to flee when she was 19 because her family was really close to Batista. So when he got overthrown, then all of Batista's supporters got exiled.
Now, didn't was it Portugal where we were?
Yeah, that was communist and overthrew him.
And they were celebrating 50 years? 25. They were celebrating the 25th year of freedom from communism.
Yeah.
Dude, those people were fucking pumped.
They were celebrating for a week before the actual like celebration date.
It was over a week's long celebration for being freed from communism. I'm like, dude, motherfuckers need to see this. This needs to be spread around the world.
Yeah. And that's something I never knew. I never knew that they were under communism.
Never knew it. You also don't know how many people died in Poland after World War II when they were turned communist for 50 years.
Yeah.
But you don't hear about that shit.
Ooh, you might have been actually right about the 50
There's
years.
50 years. The fact that they were still that fucking pumped after 50 years is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy. You know what that is? That's parents teaching their kids the importance of not being ruled by communists. But you want to know the issue? Those parents are going to die. Those kids aren't going to know. Parents are going to die. The kids are going to get older and maybe pass away, and then it's going to be the grandkids, and then the cycle is going to start all over again because they don't know what the bad times were like. And they're going to go right back into communism or some ruling of the sorts. So, just how
interesting. It goes. Online, people call it fascism.
Ha!
Not
Shut
communism.
the fuck up, dude. They call it fascism.
When did fascism end?
You motherfuckers,
Fascism
dude.
ended in Portugal.
You know how many of them brought up fascism when we were there? 0.
Uh-huh.
Wow, that's crazy.
Bro.
Oh, there you guys go. Hey, fucking... dude, don't even get me fucking rolling on that topic. Anyways, bro, anytime they want you to think something was bad, they call it fascism, and they call the good communism.
Yeah.
Crazy, bro.
Interesting, dude.
Guess what? Communism is way worse than fascism. Tell me, outside of what we've been taught, about Hitler, when has it been that fascism has been the problem? How many other places have we heard outside of what they have taught us about Hitler that there's been fascism as an issue?
Right. I don't know.
I don't know that answer.
I
Apparently in Portugal now.
Yeah.
That's fucking bonkers, dude.
Uh-huh. Oh, there are no countries with officially fascist governments today.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah.
Wow, they're the problem though.
Yeah, they are apparently.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a couple of different countries at the same time. And yeah, see? Why are they saying that's fascism?
Because it's easier to say that, to scare people. So, yeah. That's crazy.
Dude.
Bro, literally nobody over that. We took like tours. There were citizens there that we talked to and shit. Not a single one of them ever brought up fascism. They all brought up communism. That's crazy.
They brought up how there was a fascist ruler coming up in Italy.
That wasn't Portugal.
Well, no, it was when we were in Europe, though. When we were in...
that was in Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were talking about a fascist leader was coming up in Italy, and she wasn't fascist. She was Republican.
Yeah. But yeah, that was 2 years. That was 2 years prior.
Yeah. But that was the only time we've ever heard of fascism over there.
Right. That's fucking bonkers.
Dude, I'm mind blown by that. Okay. Anyways, I hope you learned something today. I'm sorry we are just always talking about politics, but politics is what rule the world. So, do better, be better people. Vote for your local officials. And, yeah.
Hopefully we can make some change in the world. Ireland, keep it up. I hope you make a lot of progress, and I hope you can get a lot of things changed there.
I hope so.
All right, gang. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you on the next one.
See ya.